was a shame that, this legend just nobody showed, and it just kind of was sad. It was kind of like, where's the scene at?
What year was that?
I want to say like 2016,
Mm.
2016,
Can I ask you
Wow.
guys?
17.
Can I ask you guys something as a musician? Like both of you guys, something as musicians. So one thing that I've gathered about musicians, something that I really respect about every musician is because I think every musician goes through this. What is it like if, say, like no one comes to a show or something like that? Because I feel like every musician has gone through that. Like, and it's kind of like going back to what you're saying. Like, but what I respect the most about musicians, it's that drive to keep your dream and your goals going, and that's super respectable and that's super admirable in any aspect of life that I think anyone can pick up. But like, is that something that like musicians go through? Like, do y'all think about that exactly? Like, is that too? I'm not asking if it's like too deep, but I
No,
don't know.
I think you always want there to be a crowd because it helps you vibe more.
Mhm.
Helps you helps you just like get in the moment, and it also helps the airwaves. It helps like the sound in the room. But you know, I was when I started playing music, and I still carry this idea with me. I was just playing music to play music and have a good time and have fun. So I didn't care if, my two friends showed up and that was it, that
Mhm.
was good enough for me. But I think ultimately you want to sell tickets, you want to play to people, you don't want to play to an empty room.
Mhm.
And as it becomes more serious, you know, and you really rely on it, depend on it, and people like Jeff Austin, who are incredible musicians, or a musician, that talent doesn't just come walking down the street, any day.
Mhm.
That's a special person, and like, you'll never have another Jeff Austin.
Yeah.
You just,
No.
and that's just the name of the game. It's just what it is. And but yeah, I would love for there to always be people at the show, and that's ultimately the goal.
Yeah, you are ultimately trying. Like, music is like
Yeah,
Like-
I realize that.
it's art. It's freedom of expression. It's everything that's supposed to be pure. But also when you're trying to do it professionally, as I'm sure you know and anyone knows, we're trying to sell it. That's part of it.
Mhm.
And so it is discouraging when nobody comes to your shows, and when you're at a small level, like I would say that maybe we are at.
Absolutely.
That's part of the game. When people don't show up to your shows, but I think while you cannot shut down if
Mhm.
nobody comes to your shows.
I guess that's kind of more my question. Like, how do you handle that in
Yeah.
that situation? Like,
You have to remember why you're doing it,
Mhm.
and if it's just to get glorified by people, which is fine. Some people thrive off that and they do great. But if it is
More power to them.
yeah, power to you. But you got there's something about you have to do it.
mhm. I guess because that's like something that like I guess like in my question like I really respect that about musicians because like I've been to like you're saying I've been to friend shows, you know what I mean, that have just been like 5 people there or something like that, you know what I mean, but they still like crush it, you know what I mean, and it's like very respectable. It's like it's what you care about and it's what you have the dream in your mind and you have the vision, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and it's really respectable. I think a lot of people could really take from that as a life lesson, honestly, to just keep pursuing what you do with complete faith in yourself, you know.
And it's crazy in this day and age with how easy it is to make music and to book yourself with the social media platforms, and I say again to record your music with Logic or GarageBand or whatever you have. Essentially, if you want to choose to be a musician, it's not like it was in the 70s or 60s, 70s, 80s, where you'd be a musician and you want to get signed to a label and they're going to do everything. Essentially, if you want to be a musician, you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
That is how it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's like this isn't for the weak, really. I mean, you're in for the long haul, unless you have some natural innate ability that's a given talent, which is few and far between. You're going to be out there working your butt off and trying to really make it work any way you can, because that's what you thrive on and that's what you want to do. People always ask me questions about music, and all I ever really tell them is like, you got to just have fun, and
Yep.
you can't get burnt out on it. It's so easy to happen too. It happens to all of us. But it's not for the weak, and I don't mean that lightly. It's a long haul.
Absolutely.
It's like AC/DC says. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.